today, lead us to prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. As we forgive those who sin against us. Ask them and pray. Okay, you miss it. So today, our topic, let's have an activity. I want you to define these following words: love, sadness, shyness, red, and religion. According to your stock knowledge, or what are your ideas about these words? Okay, so number 1. You want to try? Number 1. Okay. So, Kathleen, what do you think is love? What do you think is love? Ano? Can you define love? Yes. Okay. So what about number 2? Can you answer, Mr. John Benedict? What about number 2? Sadness. So in short, it's the state of being sad. Okay, very good. And what about number 3? Yes, Kathy. Shyness. The word shy. Yes, right. What about shyness? Okay, so it's about the confidence. You lose confidence or you are ashamed. The state of being ashamed. Okay. And what about number 4? Okay, again. Red. What is red? It is a color which is red. Right? Okay, what about number 5? Mr. John? Religion. So what is religion? What do you think is a religion?
It's the beliefs of people.
So it's a group of people who believes in God. And okay, you're right. Religion is also. So, as you have defined those words, it has something to do with our lesson for today. But first, we have this activity, which is exercise 1. Kathleen, please read the directions.
Identify the type of definition given in each of the words. Put a tick mark in each that corresponds to the answer.
So, okay, number 1. We have defined number 1 on our motivational part. What is love? So, we have 2 definitions. I will give example in number 1 so that you will know what will be the answer. How will you answer 2 to 5? So, number 1, love, the feeling that comes from the heart, and it is also caring, supporting, and guiding. So, number 1, love. Technical, we will use circle, and when operational, we will use a square. So technical, the feeling that comes from the heart. It is answered as technical. Okay, so what about the letter B? Caring, supporting, and guiding. It is operational. So, in your idea, what is technical and what is operational? So, technical is about, it is a definition according to the dictionary, or it is a technical term. And what about the operational? It is about the ideas that you have. The motivation that we had, it is a stock knowledge, so it's operational. Okay? So try answering number 2, number 3, and number 4, number 5. I'll give you 3 minutes. Okay? Here's please. So thank you. It's 9:14. I will meet you at 9:17. Meron mo sa kanila. Parang okay, so are you finished? So let's answer. I have answered number 1. Let's answer number 2. Miss Kathy, please answer.
Operational.
I want you to read the word first and then the definition.
Production of operational.
Correct. And what about letter B? Definition letter B.
Number of people.
Okay, very good. What about number 3, Sir John? Okay, sir. That is operational or technical? Operational. Is it operational? Yes. Okay, what about the letter B? The definition number 2. Technical. That is an abnormality of climate. What about number 4? Miss Kathy? That is a government revenue. Okay, what about the definitions? Technical is the money under the government. And what about letter B? Operational. Okay. What about number 5, John? Okay, so what is the definition number 1? It is technical or operational? Okay. What about the technical? Okay. So I think you understood the activity, which is technical and operational. So before I discuss, I want you to read these guide questions, which you will answer after our discussion. So what is technical definitions and what about operational definitions? That is number 1. Number 2, please read.
Where are technical definitions?
And what about you? Number 3?
Why do we use operational?
Okay. So that is the questions that you will answer after I discuss. So let's start with the technical definition. The technical definition is a definition in technical communications describing or explaining technical terminologies. So it is all about, it's used to introduce the vocabulary which makes communication in particular field succinct and unambiguous or understandable. And what about the last definition? For example, in technical, they use gluteus maximus from a medical terminology. Do you know what is gluteus maximus? So, we use the technical definition, which is the largest muscle in the body. Okay? In operational term, they use gluteus maximus. And if we define it technically, it is the largest muscle in the body. Okay? You understand what technical definition is? It is a simplified definition so that we can understand what a word is. Okay? A technical term is. So, where are technical definitions used? According to Thomson, this is to name a new development or a new technology in technical field, and to help specialists communicate with less knowledgeable readers. And lastly, to aid specialists when communicating with readers who have high level of technical expertise, and to clarify the content and use. For example, we are talking to doctors, and they said, you need an ascorbic acid. Would you understand what this ascorbic acid is? No. Okay. And what about if he said, you need vitamin C? You will understand that, right? So if he said, ascorbic acid, you will hardly understand what is that. Especially mothers, those who are not graduated from college. Diba? Hindi nila maiintindihan pag sinabi ng ascorbic acid. Yun pala, ito ay vitamin C. Vitamin C. So, technical definition is used so that we can understand. It is a term wherein sinisimplify niya, pinapabuti niya yung definition para maintindihan ng tao. Yung mga less knowledgeable. Okay. Less communicative, less hindi sila specialist. Okay? So, what about operational definition? Do you have any question about the technical definition? Technical definition. Okay, so let's move on to operational definition. So, operational definition is a detailed specification of how one would go about measuring a given variable. So, when it comes to operational definition, detailed yun. It is a detailed definition. In technical, it is about simplicity so that the person can understand. When it comes to operational, it is a detail. For example, you define a chicken. In technical, chicken is an animal. And what about in operational? So chicken has 2 legs, 2 wings, and one day. That is how you define a word in operational definition. It's very detailed according to their measurement of the variable. Do you understand? Are you coming up with me? No. So it can range from very simple, straightforward to quite complex, depending on the nature of the variable and the need of the researcher. So operational, you define a word according to the hanggang maintindihan ng tao kung ano yung ibig mong sabihin. Do you understand what operational definition is? For example, okay, define a tree. So a tree has a trunk. Ganun sa technical definition. When it comes to operational definition, a tree has leaves, roots, branches, and fruits. And that is how you define in operational definition. Do you understand what technical and operational definition is? Their differences. Yes or no? Naintindihan niyo ba? Pagkakaiba. So, it should be tied to the theoretical constructs under study. Okay, so when it comes to operational definition, dapat detailed ka at na-research yun. Hindi yun basta-basta dinefine mo lang according to your opinion. You understand? So, for example, the one that we had an exercise a while ago. Number 1, the love. Please, okay. Let's go back. So, love, the feeling that comes from the heart, that is operational. It is the feeling that comes from the heart. And what about caring, supporting, and guiding? Technical yon. Because it is based on what the people understood about love. And what about the feeling that comes from the heart? That is a psychological definition. For example, it comes from a psychologist. It is a definition that comes from a psychologist or a researcher. Okay. So when it comes to operational, may basis kayo. Meron kayong pinagpugutan ng definition nyo. When it comes to technical, it comes only from your understanding, from your base. Okay? So, is an example of a technical versus operational definition. Please read Cathedral. Technical definition.
Serves as the center of the diocese of Christian Church.
Diocese. So, in technical, it serves as the cathedral, the center of the diocese of the Christian Church. That is what a cathedral means. When it comes to operational,
Serves as the church of the diocese of the Christian Church. A Christian church which constitutes the peace of the nation.
you see? So, it comes with a further definition. It is not just one sentence only. Like the technical. Okay? What about number 2 example? What about the operational definition?
Also known as
So, do you understand what humpback means when it comes to operational and when it comes to technical? So, technical, it simply defines a person with a humpback. A humpback, do you know what humpback is? Yung may bukol dito sa likod. Ano kasing Tagalog mo? Uba. Sa Tagalog. Ikaw sa Ilocano. Okay. So, when the operational definition came, sinabi niya kung ano yung dahilan. Diba? Sinabi niya kung bakit may humpback. Right? It did not just define it as a person with humpback. what is that illness. Okay? Do you understand? What operational and technical definition? So, let us answer. 1, 2, 3, the guide questions. So, what is number 1? What is definitions and what about the operational definition? I will pick a name and shall answer. Susunod na the second one who will answer shall pick the name. Okay, it's you. Okay, please answer number 1. You can answer according to your understanding. What is the technical definition and what is the operational definition? Yun natin yan. Pag-usapan natin yun.
Patay mo ka.
What do you think is technical definition? Yung sabi ang hali.